Hi, I'm Dr. Charles Barotz. I have a boutique dental practice in Denver, Colorado, and I'm also the author of the book, The Patient-Centered Dental Practice, How I Built a Thriving Fee-for-Service Practice by Wowing My Patients. Now, it's common knowledge that dentists have a high suicide rate, and you can extrapolate that to mean that many dentists are unhappy. I can tell that when talking to my colleagues. I have many colleagues come up to me and tell me how burnt out they are, how unhappy they are, how the recession has affected their practice. And they're telling me, well, you know how that is. And I really have a hard time with that because I really don't know how it is, because I'm doing really just fine, but it's not by accident. So I'm here to talk about the 4 things every excellent dentist can do to be happy. Number 1, decide what kind of dentist you want to be and what segment of the population you wish to serve. You can't serve everyone. Walmart and Nordstrom know this. Those are very, very successful businesses with very, very different business models. So you have to ask yourself, do you want a low-fee, high-volume family practice? There's certainly a need to serve the masses, and this model is a good one for most dentists to take. On the other hand, would you prefer to have an adult comprehensive care, higher fee practice serving fewer people at a higher level of customer care and customer service? There is no wrong answer here, but whatever business model you choose, the best thing you can do is to find the most successful dentist in that arena and ask to spend the day with that doctor, to pick their brain. Talk to them, take them to lunch, and then do what they do. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Copy what successful people do, and there's a great chance you will get the same results. Number 2, decide why you do what you do and achieve balance in your life. Figure out the roles you play in your life. One is obviously a dentist. Others might be spouse, parent, sibling, son, daughter, member of a particular faith, church alderman, financial provider for your family, civic leader, coach, skier, golfer, musician. All of these forces pull on you for the one finite and irreplaceable treasure you have in your life, and that's your time. Then ask yourself, is my life in balance? Is one area of my life borrowing too much from the other? Is your quest to have a practice grossing $4 million per year preventing you from enjoying your children as they grow up, or keeping you from enjoying your leisure time and hobbies? Does this make sense to you? There is no question that your identities need to borrow time from each other, but you need to keep your core values and your ultimate purpose in mind when making these borrowing decisions. You may desire to be at all of your kids' Little League games, but what if you get an emergency call from a patient with severe pain that requires you to come in during one of those games? Now a borrowing decision must be made. Do you allow a patient to suffer, or allow your role as a dentist to borrow from your role as a parent at this time? These answers have to be drawn from your integrity and your commitments. If, after a careful evaluation, you find that your life is indeed out of balance, decide to change it. Don't let your kids grow up without knowing them. Don't let your life go by without having some fun along the way. Number 3, stay out of financial trouble by living with a be, do, have philosophy. Avoid entitlement thinking. Some dentists feel that because they are a dentist, they should have all the trappings of a successful dentist. So they borrow money to afford the fancy cars, the big homes, the expensive high-tech equipment for the practice, and now the dentist has everything the successful dentist has before he or she has done what the successful dentist has done, and must do what is necessary now to pay for it. But what happens if you don't have enough patients to treat to do what is necessary to pay off those loans? Well, you might sign up for another insurance plan, or you might work another day, or you might take a job as an associate, or you might go bankrupt. These dentists are slaves to the insurance companies and or the bank. Most dentists are the independent sort, and they give this up when they exercise a be, have, do behavior. Be, do, have is the wise alternative. Doing what the successful dentist has done before you have what the successful dentist has will reduce the amount of stress in your life and keep yourself out of financial trouble. Evaluate whether the return on investment of a new piece of equipment you might purchase justifies the expense. Does the income exceed the lease expense? Ask yourself, do I really need that new Porsche now? Lastly, and this is the most important, find true happiness by looking backward as opposed to looking forward. Are you happy where you are? Why is it that one of two dentists with essentially the same high level of financial success is happy and the other is not? Both have great practices, the same gross income, the same net income. Both seem to have their lives in balance. Both of them are goal setters, or they would not have achieved the level of success they have. Both may have identical goals. They both have beautiful homes in great neighborhoods, fancy cars, loving spouses. Both have beautiful children and excellent schools. So why is one happy and the other unhappy? The answer to this question comes from which way the person is looking when evaluating their life. Since both individuals are goal setters, they both have vision and are forward lookers aspiring to that future something called the ideal. The problem with the ideal is that it is unachievable. It's like the horizon. You can travel your entire life in the direction of the horizon, but no matter how long you travel, you'll never reach it. Happiness comes from not getting frustrated by the fact that the ideal has not been achieved. On the road to the ideal, if you allow yourself to be frustrated by looking only in a forward direction to all the things you have yet to accomplish, instead of looking back at all the things you have accomplished, you will never be happy. Chances are you've come a long way from where you were 10 years ago. Look back. Realize all that you've accomplished. Think about the house you live in today versus the one you lived in 10 years ago. Maybe it's the same, but maybe it's much nicer. Think about the places you vacation now versus then. Think about the things you have learned. If on your travels to the horizon you never pay attention to the joys of the trip and the experiences along the way, you will never be happy. Life is like an algebraic function whose limit will never be reached. Just know that at some point in your life, you'll get close enough to that limit to gain a full understanding of it, even if that point is at the moment of death. In the meantime, be happy and celebrate your accomplishments rather than dwelling on what you have yet to achieve. Keeping an eye on your future while celebrating where you have come from and where you are now is the key to happiness.